Okay, good afternoon, gentlemen. And there's an old saying, third time's a charm. This is the third game plan that we've composed and put together, and it looks like we're going to be playing, so we're certainly excited about that. I'm on mute. Okay. Somebody did not unmute me, but I'm going to start now. Can everybody hear? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. Well, as I said, maybe there's some lip readers out there. Third time's a charm. This is our third game plan, and our players have done a great job as far as staying focused. You know, all indications that we have right now, it looks like we're going to be playing, and we'll be traveling on Thanksgiving. We're excited about playing UNLV. You know, Coach Arroyo was here as an assistant coach, and it's interesting. It dates me a little bit, but if my math is correct, he was a quarterback when I was a defensive coordinator, so now I'm starting to coach against guys who played. But they've got a good football team, and we do as well. What's going to be interesting is, we've not played in a long time, so you get a little bit concerned about, our ability to tackle, get off blocks, maintain, a block, catching the football under duress, playing special team plays. But that's the kind of year it is. We're excited about playing, and I know our players are excited about playing. I was watching the game last night, and watched the Raiders play against Kansas City, and it certainly looks like a beautiful stadium. What did confuse me, I told my wife, I looked at the surface and I thought it was grass, and I thought my eyes can't be fooling me, because when I watched all the game tape with UNLV, it's artificial turf. So it must be pretty sophisticated playing surface that they have. So nonetheless, I know it's a state-of-the-art facility. Our players will be excited about the game, and we're excited about playing. So at this time, I'll open it up to questions that people have. Yes, Michael.
Hey, Craig. I know when we spoke last time, it was, the Air Force bye was a chance to sort of reset and recalibrate and all that stuff. You guys had a little bit more of a heads up for that one. This one obviously happened, the day before. How did you guys kind of handle that situation, and what was that like finding out? I think it was Wednesday.
You bet. Well, to be transparent, really hard. I mean, we understand there's protocols and things of that nature. Football players and coaches are used to operating under a regimented time frame, and you get to the point where you're ready to play a game. And so when we were not able to play, it was very disappointing. And so young people have feelings. With all the uncertainty, it compounded how they feel. But I thought our coaching staff had done a really good job providing leadership, re-engineering, and saying, okay, that game is not going to be played. We're going to look to get ready to play our next opponent. And so we gave a little bit of a time off for our players, and then we did some work with our developmental guys shortly after the game. But then we composed our game plan against UNLV, and our guys have been locked in and doing really well. Davis.
Hey, Craig, you guys now, you had a maximum of 3 games left, assuming you play all of them. You've got like 7 teams above you in the conference standings. Do you think you guys have to win out just to be in a position to make a bowl? Is that something you guys have talked about at all at this point with everything going on?
Our mantra, Davis, has been just whatever we can do to get to 1-0, and that's what we've had the last couple of years. And so, our focus is really on UNLV and getting better as a football team, controlling the things that we can control. We couldn't control the people that we didn't have an opportunity to play, and we're excited about playing this game. And so, ideas of postseason play and things like that, there's so much that's up in the air right now. That's really the farthest thing from our mind.
Craig, has there been any talk either among coaches or the Mountain West about letting teams that don't play in the title game play a game on December 19th? Mm-hmm.
Well, I sit on the NCAA Oversight Committee, which is a group that basically gives pretty strong recommendations to the council. And so a lot of times the decisions that are made by that group are what's going to happen. And I know we had a pretty lengthy discussion on our call this last Thursday. And, the overriding theme is as much flexibility as what we can give to the conferences to try to facilitate games that make sense for a conference to play. That also goes along with postseason play and bowl games. There's so much uncertainty, so we're basically saying give us as much flexibility as we can. We got to see where we're at, in a couple weeks, and so I think don't lock your knees, as I always say, Davis. You don't know what's around the corner, and which is why we have a really laser-like focus on just playing the next game. I think Tracy, you raised your hand twice. Yep.
I'm just curious, in looking at the depth chart, at some of the adjustments that were made.
Uh-huh.
If I can ask you about several of them. One of them, Bearup is now listed as the number 2 quarterback. Is it just that you saw enough of him work out in the last couple of weeks that you can be comfortable there?
You know what? That's really accurate, Tracy, because during the fall, Gavin was not able to go out and practice. He wasn't able to do much, and a lot of that had to do because he was quarantined and tested positive with COVID. And so, it's been several weeks now. He's progressed. Coach Vegan's done a good job with him. He's certainly not as far along as what we'd like to have, but he's certainly shown really good capabilities to be a good quarterback. So we've been running him with the 2s.
And then Miller's replaced Moore as a backup at fullback. Is there any particular?
You know what? A lot of those guys are interchangeable, but really, when I looked at what we've been doing in practice, that's a rotation that's more reflective of what would happen in a game.
And then Brown's no longer listed as a wide receiver.
Right, he's out right now. He nicked up his shoulder, and I, there's certain things I can say right now. If I get in trouble with general counsel, it's just trust me on him. He's not going to be out there.
Okay, and then the other one that's missing is.
Damn, you're grinding away here, Tracy.
Well,
why don't you go out and ride your horses?
Well, my wife broke her femur, so we're a little slowed down right now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I. I'm doing a lot of housework. Jack Baxter at the defensive end. Is it Baxter?
No, it was Jack Boyer. Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit more reflective, and also we're in hopes we'll see what happens with Garrett Krall. He just started to practice, and whether he'll be game ready or not, it looks somewhat doubtful. But he moved around really well yesterday. We didn't have any live contact, so that defensive end position is pretty fluid.
Thank you.
You bet, Tracy. Give your wife my best.
I will.
All right, Michael.
The quarterback that you guys saw last year, UNLV, Oblad, hasn't gotten very much time this year. It's been mostly Gillum, I believe. How do they kind of look different offensively, and how do you kind of assess their quarterback situation?
Well, they're playing 2 guys right now, and I think they're pretty effective. And Marcus is a quarterback guru, and so there's elements of what they did at Oregon, that we played Oregon a couple years ago, and they're explosive. And whenever you have 2 quarterbacks that even though their system doesn't change a lot, there's some different nuances with them, and so we're prepared for both. Davis.
Logan Harris, is he no-go this week again?
I did not list him, but he's been cleared to return to practice today. And so we're encouraged about that. He had a bout with mononucleosis. I think I said that right. So that was another compounding medical issue this year. We will integrate him into practice today. He won't take tons of reps, but it's going to be great to have him back out there. He lost quite a bit of weight, but he has put on the majority of that, and so it'll be fun to get him back out practicing. So I would venture to say he'll make the trip to Vegas, though. Yes, Davis.
Greg, how difficult, you hit on this a minute ago, but just how difficult is it to do this stop and start thing when you have no idea what's going to happen either with your situation or other team's situation? How hard is that to just, change like that?
It is a challenge. Young people and particularly coaches, when you're working in college football, moving a college football team, I always maybe compare it to moving an army. I mean, you've got all kinds of different moving parts with huge numbers and support people and practice habits and things like that. And so when having games scheduled and then canceled and then dropped and rescheduled, and two, our youth, our players have really done a phenomenal job. But, it's a whole lot different when you're a 62-year-old man and then you're talking about somebody who's 18 years old that's just been away from home. And what the heck does COVID mean? And we're playing? No, we're not. Yes, we are. Classes they're held virtually now. A lot of uncertainty, and so it's been really important for us to provide some semblance of stability as much as we can. But I won't sugarcoat it. It's been a challenge for us. Davis, I think it's probably been a challenge for a lot of people. And when you have this duration where you're not playing games, it compounds that whole lack of routine and being competitive. Tracy, I think you're muted, buddy.
Along those lines, like last week, do the head coaches, do you guys interact at all, trying to keep each other abreast of where your team stands?
You know what? I can tell you before the beginning of the year, we spent a great deal of time talking with one another. Since the season started, not very much. There's some maybe cordial texts that you'll send, but there's not been any a conference call or anything like that. I do think the athletic directors have spent quite a bit of time talking. At least that's the feedback I've gotten from Tom Berman. They'll talk about, okay, where do you guys project your football team being? How likely are they to be able to play? What are the surrounding complicating factors? And so I think the ADs have been much more in tune as opposed to coaches. But quite frankly, Tracy, right now, typically coaches are so locked in on their own team, they don't have much time to talk to the other guys.
So with the ADs talking, do you have, like last week, Utah State, did you have some idea there could be a problem?
You know what? There was some rumblings. Our director of football operations and assistant athletic director, Brent Vernon, had some dialogue. BV's been a great asset for us, and he started to let me know that there may be some issues, and I was shocked, and then those issues became reality, and that's just where we're at this year.
Thank you, sir.
You bet, Tracy. Yep, Michael.
Yeah, I know Tom, you released a statement, I think it was on Thursday or Friday, that he tried to get another game scheduled kind of in this scramble. How close were you to that process?
Well, we were all in on that, but I don't know if the other side was. And so it takes two teams to play. We were looking at different options, and nothing ever came about. But, we really strive to do whatever we could to play anybody, anytime, anywhere. I think that the opportunity for our players to play all these games, have TV capabilities with CBS Sports Network and Fox. So, there's a great deal of exposure nationally, which is encouraging. But moreover, you just want your players to have an opportunity to play games. That's what they're out there to do. And, while coaches maybe enjoy practice, players after a while, practice is practice. Coach, we want to play. And so this will be great that we're going to be able to play this week. At least right now, that's what things are looking like. Yes.
Coach, in the conversations to set up a pickup game or a makeup game at this juncture in the season, does that help in the 3 games remaining to perhaps have a replacement lined up should that possibility arise going forward, or is nothing improved, nothing changed, and every week's flux?
Well, every week is a new week, but I can tell you our conference office, whether it be Commissioner Thompson or Brett or Jamie, they've really been good communicating. I think our ADs, they have plan A and plan B. We're certainly learning while we go. And I said it just comes back to giving these players an opportunity to play games. They're out there working hard. And so But I cannot overstate the challenge that you have. Every sport is different, but it's a whole lot different if you try to load up a basketball team to go play somebody. When you're talking about moving a football team, you're talking about chartering an airplane. You've got a semi full of equipment. You've got trainers. I mean, it is truly like moving an army. And so as much as we can plan ahead for plan A and plan B, we're trying, but it certainly is a challenge. Okay, guys, want to say thanks for being on, and we'll look forward to working with you this next week.